Professor Dr. Ramesh Richard presents today's topic, Life After Death.
Greetings, world. I welcome you to consider the most important and influential question of your life and your death, the question of life after death. A wealthy and powerful king called the wisest man in his court, asking him to find the greatest fool in his kingdom. The king handed in the fool's staff to the wisest man, and each day the wisest man went all through the domain of the king to find the greatest fool in his kingdom. One day the king called the court into session and made an announcement of deep regret. He said, "I'm about to commence on a long journey. I shall not return, except I don't know my final destination." Immediately the wise man sprung into action and gave the king his own fool's staff. For here was a man who was going on a long journey, but did not know his final destination, even though he was unable to return. That parable applies to you and me, because one of these days we will commence on that long journey. This is a journey that we must travel. There is no escape from it. We will depart this life. And my question to you today is to where you and I will go after death. My purpose is to help you think through options and talk through questions. Either right now or come onto our website and we will keep in touch over the long term to address these matters which you may be entertaining in your heart and in your mind. The issue is the post-death question. Where are you heading after death? I wish this was an imaginary problem which can be solved religiously or socially or politically or some other way, but it's an intensely personal question that you alone must address. For you see, we should not plan our life around death, but we should plan our life after death. We should not plan our life around death, but we should plan for our life after death. Where are you heading? Let's look at sure options and safe offers. Sure options, life after death. First, some sure options. At least they seem to be sure because many theories and theologies, many religions and cultures have provided these kind of options that are across the human race. There are only three such options of life after death. There is no four options, and each of these exclude the other. The first one I'm going to call the option of going nowhere. Nowhere into nothingness. When you are dead, it's over. They bury you and you become dirt. Or they burn you and you become ash. Now, all of us know that nowhere into nothingness is really not a live option. Pardon the intended pun. Now, if you hold to the nowhere position, you have some major difficulties. Questions that are posed to you from every culture, every religion, every place, every people all across the world. Because humanity is obsessed, almost preoccupied every day with this global survival instinct and a personal survival imperative. Regardless of religion or philosophy, some have straightforward routes, some have circuitous routes, some have tedious routes. Some define the next life of a different and a better kind as nirvana or moksha, or realization of oneness, or attainment of unity, or the dissolution of the self, or the extinction of yourself, or eternal life in heaven. But every one of these religions and philosophies talk about a different and a better order. The global survival instinct is extremely strong. I wonder if it isn't because there's an eternity set in the human heart out of memory and longing and desire, need. And then there is a personal survival imperative. It's not only just a cultural, environmental wish, but an internal need inside your heart which wants you to live forever. We know that because of people's practices. In some places they worship the dead. In other places they attempt to make the passage into the future safe for the dead. Yet others, they respect the dead. They want to protect themselves from living dead. That prompts us to have a personal survival imperative. You may have heard of the two scientists, one of whom discovered the secret of eternal life, and the other one gently reminded him that it'll take forever to test it. It's a nowhere position. If you're really going nowhere, here are some questions. This becomes the land of the living if you're going nowhere. But all of us know this is not the land of the living, this is the land of the dying. And if really you're going into nowhere, what about all the evil in the world getting repaid? When will there be a punishment of the unjust and those who do great, grand evil against so many of us? If really we're going into nowhere, death becomes the last word. Do you really want death to be the last word? I think that's why Mark Twain, the American writer, said, I have not a single atom of proof of the future life, but I am strongly inclined to believe in one. I want you to be careful not to be left hanging and holding the fool's staff.